we'll break for 5 or 10 minutes at 3 o'clock for a quick cuppa and a comfort stop, councillors, but let's now go back to item 10 on page 31, recommendations Regional Transport Committee. 3 hour decision.
I can deal with that very, very quickly. The material matter there is the variation to the Regional Land Transport Plan, and that basically is a good news item because it gets the intersection Miani Quay Expressway Watchman Road on track. Construction of the roundabout there will commence in October, but this actually provides for Watchman Road as a leg of the roundabout.
Okay, I think we've gone quiet now, so we're all good. Just if we could just please carry on with the meeting, please. Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Dick.
It
Councillor Hewitt, there's one meeting.
Provides for Watchman Road, which is Napier City Council Road, to be now qualify for subsidy, so that that road can be upgraded in conjunction with a new entry into the entry and exit into the airport off Watchman Road that the Airport Authority will fund. So we will. The end result is we'll tidy up probably one of the most dangerous intersections in New Zealand, and also have an entry and exit to the airport that is worthy of the status of being Hawke's Bay's regional airport rather than the Mickey Mouse arrangement that exists at the moment.
Thank you. Councillor Pipe.
Yeah, through you. Can I have a question maybe? Is that in the form of a roundabout at all, or is it in the form of a roundabout?
Yes,
it'll
be four-legged roundabout.
Four-legged roundabout.
Expressway, or Miani Quay Expressway, Watchman Road, sorry, a three-legged roundabout. Yeah.
No further questions. You're happy to move, Councillor Dick?
Yes.
And you're happy to second, Councillor Barker? Thank you. Further discussion? I'll put that motion, and all those in favour please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Recommendations, Regional Planning Committee. And this over to Mr. Palmer. Any comments on any of the recommendations there, or happy to take questions?
Thank you, Chairman. So just to guess a couple of updates. So the iwi hapu engagement plan for Tank, we are still finalising the contributions from RPC members, particularly Tanya Hopmans, and so we're just waiting to draw a line around the very final version of that, but certainly the committee endorsed it, subject to any further minor changes being made. So they'll be made in the fullness of time. And on the oil and gas statement of principles, it's our intention to bring those back to the next Regional Planning Committee, and work has already commenced on those.
Thank you.
And perhaps, sorry, just to acknowledge the concerns that have been raised around papers in committees. Those science and technology strategy and that last paper would ideally have gone to the Regional Planning Committee first, but their meeting frequency is every 2 months. So it's challenging us for us to get papers in front of the governors in a timely manner. So we're probably going to have a conversation with the RPC about shifting the frequency of those meetings to accommodate the workload that's burgeoning in this space. So just making aware of that, and just apologising that we have had to slot some items into this agenda so that we could keep ahead of the work that's going on.
Councillor Barker.
Could I just respond to that and say that we've had this discussion. It's not just the only time we've had this discussion. We've had it before, and I just think it's about planning. So we decide on what the process is, and there's been a number of papers that have come before this council. We've had a council meeting which should have gone to a committee, and I'm just re-emphasising we should say, well, it goes to the committee where we can have a proper and decent debate. That should be the thing. And to come to the full council should be an exception which is wholly justifiable.
In this case, it is in the form of timing.
That absolutely was in the marine paper in particular, because right now there's quite a lot of activity in the space that we needed to be ahead of politically. So that's because
they don't meet till August.
and they're very operationally focused. Like I say, ideally, if we were taking it to committee, it would have gone to the Regional Planning Committee. It's right in their space.
So any further questions around this particular paper recommendations? Councillor Hewitt?
So the Tuki implementation principles were discussed at the Regional Planning Committee and also in the Maori Committee. Have their observations been incorporated into?
Yes, so
into this
these are the ones that have been modified to reflect the Regional Planning Committee discussions. So you'll note there's the final one, 1.11, brings in a focus on outcomes in the river, as well as the rewording around the 1.7, working with businesses to adapt and change over time. So it incorporates those.
Further questions? Councillor Dick?
Move.
You happy to move? Happy to second? Wish to speak? Wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak to this? I'll put the motion in. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Now, item 13, members' allowances and reimbursement, page 39. Yes, you cannot. Yes, you cannot. Right, Mr. Collings, welcome again. Can you give us a quick overview of this, or just
Absolutely.
You just wish questions?
It's very quick. I'll take you through it just quickly. There's the Remuneration Authority has been in contact with us, and they update their rates for allowances and members' reimbursements and things like that. Every 3 years at least. They haven't really touched them too much in the last couple of years. Just letting you know, the ones that have changed, mileage allowance gone down from 77 cents to 74, which is kind of reflects the IRD's take on that. Obviously fuel prices and things like that, so that's gone down. And the only other one that's changed from that is travel time allowance. This is if you're travelling more than 2 hours, there's a reimbursement of $35 it was, now it's 37.5. Yeah. Those are really the only changes there. The major one, which might, a couple of you will be affected by, is the 30 kilometre threshold distance, which may or may not be aware of. If you are claiming reimbursement for mileage, they take that 30k off as a token of not paying you to come to work. So they're saying that 30k should cover that. They've taken that off for anything but coming to this office. So they'll still take it off for coming to this office. But if you are travelling from home to another council meeting at another location, that no longer applies, and that's for everyone. So that's probably the main change, which is good news for you. Anyway, so any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, it's just a procedure from them that they need this policy adopted. Then we'll send it to them, and the determination itself will come out just next week, I believe.
Councillor Barker.
Just a question. Thank you. All the information in the policy is quite clear here. The thing that did surprise me in reading this was the payment for travelling time, and I never knew this existed. I just want to, not that I want to claim it back. I don't want to think like that. But I went on a field trip to the South Island. I went on a field trip to Taranaki. We went to Wairoa. I've done all these trips, and suddenly tell me there's travelling time. I've never heard this before. I just want to be clear. I don't know how we apply it. You need to come back and explain to us how we apply it. The second question is that more directed to Liz. I see in here that we were supposed to get a jacket with a logo on it at some stage, raincoat. We're only within the end of our term. I suppose a bit late to give us a rain jacket now with a logo on it. But again.
Well, Councillor, it's hardly rained during your term as a councillor yet, so that's probably the reason why you haven't, but it is going to rain tonight, so next time you're up seeing the lovely Diane, you can... Diane Wisely is the person to see if you'd like a rain jacket.
And to answer your first question, Councillor, if you start riding your bike to council, you will still not get the $37.50, even if it does take you 2 hours to get here. So.
If it's any consolation, I've been here for 3 terms and I still haven't got a raincoat.
Okay, Look, let's get back to any other questions for Mr. Collins. Councillor Hewitt, did you have a hand up?
I have a question. I think this is a crock. So, do I have to support it? I mean, what choice do I have in this?
None. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Actually, if
Hobson's.
anything, the IRD has reduced their rate again to 72 cents for the current coming year. So they're a little bit behind. The HBRC actually are getting a little bit more. It is really a tax obligation. That's what it's, I think, in there for. And there's that 5,000K threshold. If you go over that, then it's actually reduces right down. So it isn't trying to reimburse you for
It's
everything.
discriminating against members who have to travel a distance, isn't it?
Couldn't
Yeah,
say
anyone over
that.
5,000 Ks.
There's anyway, you go to Otago and they travel for 3 hours. So happy to move. Thank you. We have a seconder. You have a seconder. Wish to speak further?
Just to move the report to make the observation that IRD are very, very quick to move to drop rates when it goes, but they are remarkably goddamn slow to raise them when the price of petrol goes up. I just want to note the imbalance in their processes.
I'll second this, Manager, because you need it to be moved and seconded, and it's just a process. But I agree with Councillor Hewitt, and I discussed it with the Chair yesterday or the day before. Time flies. This is just a crock, I mean, so in any normal business, and I regard this as the business of governance, the council. When I go to Terra, which I do go to their regular meetings. It's not council. It is council business clearly, but I can't get reimbursed for my costs, my travel costs. I take my own car, it's just incredible, really. It's just a hopeless situation, and I don't know. It's legislation, I guess, and the Chair tells me it's easy to be abused and so forth. And I buy into that, really. If there's been abuse in the past, then I guess that's the reason that it's got to be tight. But it's incredibly unfair and unbusinesslike.
Okay, further speakers. Councillor Hewitt.
Yeah, I'll be voting against this. I think that anything that is discriminating against councillors who live a distance from their elected place of representation, then it shouldn't be supported by councillors. So that's my stand, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, I'll put the motion, and all those in favour, please say aye. And against? Carried. Thank you. A very quick look, potentially quick look at affixing the common seal, then we'll have a 5-minute break. Any questions for Mr. Drury with quite a few transfers and sale and purchase agreements this month, which is good. Happy to move. We have a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Pipe. Got that. Discussion. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. 5-minute break, everyone, and then back to work.